Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining for November's community meetup. I have an awesome agenda for today. First, I'm just going to do a little community housekeeping. Abe's going to give an update on the Great Expectations roadmap and take any questions on what you have for the roadmap for Great Expectations. Then Eugene is going to do one of our first, or the first, community demo of the working cloud of Great Expectations. Then after that, Bogdan is going to do his community spotlight on his use case of Great Expectations. So I will start sharing screen and get started. All right. Hopefully everyone can see that okay, and that the screen, probably should have done this on a smaller screen. All right, yeah, so welcome to the meetup. Here's the agenda that I just noted. Roadmap, we'll do a little update on the community roadmap, demo of cloud, community spotlight with Bogdan, and then we'll have any other questions at the end and wrap up. Just so you know, we are hiring at Superconductive, developer advocate positions, analytics engineer, lead sales engineer, product manager, software engineer. There's a bunch in there, so go check out jobs.superconductive.com. Yeah, hopefully we can get people from the community to come work with us, which is really what we hope what can happen. All right, so a little bit of an update on the community stats. GitHub star still on a similar trajectory. We had a big bounce. We were featured on trending for a little while, right over here on GitHub. And now we're just breaking over 5,500 stars. Slack community is still growing super fast. Last we had this meeting, let's see, when was that? We were just shy of 5,000. Now we're into 5,255 as of yesterday. And we're in between 50 and 100 new Slack users a week, which is really exciting. For our PyPy usage, we actually hit 2 million last month, which is really crazy to think about. It's awesome seeing this growth in here, and seeing that many downloads is amazing. Next. So we're putting a lot of work into tackling PRs and issues. So this was around the last time that we had the meeting. We were up in the mid 40s, and we were able to take it down of the PRs down into the 30s and 40s. Oops, I want to head a slide. So yeah, we're continuing to have our focus on there. We just hired a new technical writer who I believe is here, Rachel, who is going to help out a lot with the issues and some of the PRs that are in there. So you see the issues are still rising, but we are hoping that this new focus on our docs is going to help that out. And there's actually a great conversation that you should check out in general, which I'll actually just bring up really quickly. Sorry. Was it in general? Sorry, Tal, where was that where it's about our documentation? Or I think Chathan actually you were on that one.
Yeah, I need to go.
Mike Robin. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I'll look for it and I can post the link in chat if that's helpful.
It's in feature requests.
Oh, it's in feature requests?
Yeah, actually it might be.
Let's see here. Yes, yeah. So check out this thread. I mean, it's pretty critical on our documentation, and we're taking big steps forward to adjust that. So we're really looking for good critical feedback, and also we're looking for people who would be interested in doing some formal friction logging on some of the new documentation that comes out. So if you're up for that, definitely let me know. Could be really useful.
Kyle, quick sanity check. I don't know if friction logging is jargon that everybody knows. Is that?
It's probably pretty jargony.
Yeah.
I'll to break it down. Basically, look for people who would spend maybe 30 minutes or maybe longer to go over some of our new and old documentation and point out where they find points of frustration, times where it's like, okay, this actually made a lot of sense and it was an enjoyable moment or an aha moment, and that'll help us find where we can improve our documentation on those specific requests. Anyways, all right, so all these people keep coming in. I keep getting the ding dongs over and over.
I can keep clicking
anyway,
while you're going.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and want to give a shout out to some new contributors on the list. I actually see Austin is on here. He's one of our new developer advocates. I'm sure you guys have been seeing him in the Slack channel. So props Austin for making it on the new contributor list. And then everyone else who's on here, keep an eye out for mugs. I'm very behind on those. I know I need to do a big batch of mugs that'll come out soon. And we have some cool new swag coming out as well to keep an eye out for. All right, I'll pass it to you, Abe. I'll be your clicker.
Awesome, thanks, Kyle. Yeah, actually, before we dive in, let me kind of put out the ask in chat while we're talking. If you have ideas for features or things that you'd love to see developed, please speak up there. As we get kind of like build up capacity on developer relations and as we build our engineering team, we're getting to a place where we can start to see further ahead than we could before. So it's no secret that we haven't had a public roadmap for Great Expectations, and we're just starting to do that. Like in our last community meetup, that was the first time in a long time that we had kind of told people where we were going next. As we keep working on this, we're going to be able to do more of that. So we're looking for feedback, looking for input there. Can't promise that we will do everything, but yeah, we really love community feedback on features and things to develop. All right, so chat's open. Please put thoughts there. I will go through the roadmap as it stands and then come back to those once we get to the end of the section. Next slide, Kyle. So the number one thing we're working on is promoting the V3 API batch request to be the primary API. We talked about this last time. There's one of the points of friction, especially for new users, is coming in and not knowing where the V2 APIs begin and end, and just moving to a place where by default, everything is in V3 will be a much better world. We're still working on some documentation issues and tracking down some. At this point, they're mostly minor bug fixes within V3, but kind of working out the friction on that. If there are places where you see gaps or bugs or anything like that, please speak up because we want to polish this up and get it out before the end of the year. Next piece, improving docs, especially onboarding and core skills concepts. If you are willing to do what Kyle just called friction logging, so take a half hour to walk through with us, record the session, and just call out every missing comma or every concept that's not explained or anything that's confusing, that's really helpful. We're doing a lot of that internally, like basically a systematic review of the documentation. And we're finally in a place where we have enough people on the developer relations team to be responsive on those issues. Before, a lot of documentation issues would sometimes take a while to resolve. We're now getting to the place where those can happen pretty fast, as long as it doesn't require a lot of deep code changes. So let me actually make that a direct question. Who here would be willing to do that? I mean, just take any piece of documentation that would be helpful to get a friction log on, or that would be helpful to you to see improved, and just walk through it with us for half an hour. If you use the reactions button, there's a raise hand button. Cool. Calling for volunteers. Kyle, I don't know if you figured this out. There was buzz that there would be swag for this too. Probably not mugs, but maybe socks.
I think this one. I think a good idea for this one would be buying that individual a pizza or something similar of a meal, hackathon style.
Cool. We'll figure it out. Benjamin, thank you for volunteering. Anybody else who's willing, interested, please DM Tal, if you don't mind. I'm going to put you on the spot. Yeah.
Please DM me.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. We'll keep asking. This is partly what makes open source work. Next thing, beyond improving docs, we are going to resume our full community content calendar. Doing these meetings as part of that. There'll be more too. Kyle, do you want to unpack this more, or?
No, I think you nailed it. We're definitely looking to put out some more technical pieces of content that are tutorial focused. That'll come out along with pieces of thought leadership. You'll notice that we're whenever somebody publishes something about Great Expectations, we want to really highlight it and celebrate that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why Bogdan is going to be presenting today. Is he published something really cool, a cool piece of content for Great Expectations. So we're going to highlight him today, make a video, and be something cool for you to share around. So if you are planning on blogging about Great Expectations, definitely let me know, and we'll be happy to sort of signal boost that out.
Cool. Thanks, Kyle. Next up, this is actually part and parcel with it, streamlining ecosystem partnerships, deployment patterns. If you're looking, oh, Kyle, if you can go to the next slide. If you were looking really closely at Kyle's Slack when he shared screen, you probably saw mention of Databricks. So we've been working closely with them to do tighter integration with Databricks and Spark and some additional documentation on that. That's the first of many, and we're working on streamlining that process so that showing how to deploy Great Expectations alongside other tools can be a fast, repeatable thing. The next piece is releasing the V3 docs for custom expectations. It's moving forward, and we'll have more to show there by the end of the year. Launching and iterating on the expectation gallery. If you're here last week, you saw it. We're starting to track traffic and be responsive to people from the gallery. It's cool to see that out there. There's a lot more that can be done. Kyle, do you want to, let's save it for a surprise. I think there'll be more to show next time around.
Yeah, there'll be a nice it'll be a good iteration on the gallery next time. In the meantime, in the last roundup of the community event, there's a short video for the gallery if you haven't seen it yet or haven't started using it. Yeah, so keep a lookout for next month's for an update on the gallery.
Cool. Yeah, Chetan, if you don't mind grabbing that link to that video and just sharing it here, just so I know a lot of people here were also here last time, but we've got some newcomers. Might be helpful to see. And while we're in chat, Nathan, I see you asking for V3 custom expectation docs. We'll get there. It's awesome. Thank you. Feedback is really helpful. All right, and beyond that, going into Q1, we're thinking seriously about domain-specific expectation packages. It's a thing we've been talking about for a long time. At this point, most of the groundwork is laid for that, so we can dig into that more. Extending and improving automated profiling, and then continuing to push on the gallery and making it more searchable, making it more helpful for contributors. So, if you have other ideas, other things you'd like to see more of, now would be a good time to raise them. Let me pause for just a second. I don't see anything in chat. Are there other things you'd like to see on the roadmap? No? Okay. We're always there on Slack, always looking for input. Transitioning now